In this video, we're going to look at code for table 2.5 in your chapter, and this is about browsing through the variables. We did some of this in the previous video. We're going to do a little bit more here. So we have already seen this command, this code names housing df. So this is going to give you a list of names like that. Okay, if you want names to be like a table, then you have to transpose. So you have to do transpose twice names housing df. So this will display the names as like a table with one column. Okay, so this will create table. Remember, this is not data frame. Okay, and we have done changing the names previously, but if you want to change a particular name in the column, so for example, you have total dot value and you want to change that to total underscore value for some reason. Okay, this is just to show you how to do it, right? So we have what column names, right? Column names of housing df. Okay, and here we can specify. Okay, you press the right arrow out of the parenthesis, and then if you specify 1 here for column names, so column names will just one string. So 1 within square bracket would be the first column name. So first column name is, okay, I should do it like this. And then you can specify the new column name, and it should be as a list. So a list should be with C total value. Okay, so now if you run that, okay, no error. So if you go back in here to housing df, you see the total value column is now, the name is with an underscore instead of a period. Okay, next let's look at the type and class of objects. So if you do class housing df, that will tell you that this object is of class data frame. So it says data frame. Okay. Now if you want to look at class of housing df remodel, okay, and that's a factor. So remember, the remodel is a character string column. So when we set in our read.csv, since we set strings as factors, the read.csv converted this column into a factor, and that's why you see that as a factor. All right. Now class housing df. Okay. Suppose if we did this, so this will be the 14th column. So what is the class of the 14th column? Okay, the 14th column. Remember, class housing.df is two-dimensional, so you can't just simply give one number. So you have to put a comma. So the 14 really refers to the column, and that's the last column. So this is another way of doing exactly the same thing that we did in the previous code. Now, since this is a factor, there is another code that we can use, which is called levels. That'll give you how many levels are there in a factor column. So if we did that, it'll tell you, okay, those levels, the none, old, and recent. Those are the levels for that factor column. Okay, so let's do a couple of other classes. Class housing.tf, say bedrooms. Okay, and that's going to tell us that it's integer. And then let's say we want class of the first column, right? So that'll be what? So within the square bracket we have to give two numbers. Since we want to specify only the first column for determining the class, we don't care about the row. We just simply put a comma and then put one there. So that is the first column is the total value, and that's numeric. So the difference between integer and numeric is what? Integer is whole numbers. Numeric is any number.